All right, 3 minutes in. Folks, let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. Great. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. As the email suggests, today's webinar will be focused on getting you up to speed on working with Hiperwall. That means we'll go over what to do when you have a video wall deal come in, how to work with Hiperwall, procuring hardware and software quickly, and most importantly, how to maximize the money your firm makes on each deal. Hyperwall's software-driven approach to video wall control and management allows us to not only simplify system design, but also allows us to provide AV partners a more cost-effective solution with significantly higher profit margins than hardware-based systems. But what a lot of AV partners don't know is that Hyperwall can actually generate your company lucrative recurring revenue streams per deal, and you don't really have to work for it. So in this webinar, we'll cover how AV pros can generate greater profits per video wall deal, generating recurring revenue streams with Hyperwall maintenance, letting Hyperwall do the system design work and quoting for you, and utilizing our friends at TD SYNNEX to quickly procure our software and system hardware. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and hand things on over to our VP of Sales, Steve Wu.
Hey, thanks, Michael. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for a few minutes. This will not be a long presentation, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask at the end, or put them in the chat session. But I do appreciate you taking a few minutes. I'd like to also welcome Chris Pierce, who is our partner at TD SYNNEX, and he will also be saying a couple words later on. I think this will be an interesting topic for you if you haven't already investigated either Hyperwall or the control room system market. I've got just a couple of slides to go over with you, and I think the topic I want to really focus in on a macro basis is, one, we want to make it easy for you to sell Hyperwall, and number two, we also want to make sure that you make a lot of money and margin with the deals, and make your life as easy as possible. Make sure your customers are as satisfied as possible. So some of the issues revolving around selling a control room solution, it's really a strange puzzle, because many times you have to understand the end user requirements. You have to understand the technology solutions and options out there, how you build the configurations, what type of content that they want to drive on the system so that they can make decisions, what type of firewall security requirements are needed, and then also the building layouts for installation and management. These are just really a myriad of topics, and as individuals representing your own companies and representing your customers, it's really difficult sometimes to understand everything here. And sometimes if it's so difficult, you just give up and don't play in that space. And I think that the space is big enough and enriched enough that it should be a space that you should look at if you're not doing it already. And if you're doing it already, you should look at Hyperwall, because we'll try and make it easier for you. So how do you service your customers in this particular space? There are a lot of different questions. You need to learn all the vendor solutions, all the ins and outs of each one of our options that we have. That's very difficult because you don't have that much time. Can you solve all the technical questions yourself? Because sometimes you're a great rep, sometimes you're a great engineer, sometimes you're medium at both. But there's a lot of technical questions sometimes that you just don't understand, and you don't want to lead the customer astray, so you need help. Can you build out the best system for your customer? Do you know all the right technologies and specifications that are needed in order to make the system operate the very best, plus also be as cost effective as possible? And those are all difficult things, and you may not have the time or capability to do that. And the differences in the systems when the customer says, well, gee, Harriet, I have a SOC or NOC or EOC, and I need 5 different walls. Well, okay, great. Now what do I do, right? So these are things we try and make sure that we help you with, so that you don't run across a frustrating situation or give it up so some other competitor takes it. And then also, how do you price it out? So it's the very best for not only for your company and yourself, but also for the customer. So these are things that we always try and tackle and think about. So kind of brings us to the next slide of, why Hyperwall? Well, without going in depth on each one of these things, we're an AV over IP based video system, and we only sell software. We only make software, and we're probably the lowest cost proprietary solution in the marketplace that doesn't need private labeled controllers, switches, or anything else. We're very simple to procure through SYNNEX. We have no supply chain constraints because we're software. We work with any PCs and display technologies on the market. So we're what we call hardware agnostic. So, if you want a Samsung, NEC, LG, ViewSonic, whatever flavor display or DV LED or projector, go for it. We can work with all of them. If you want any particular flavor standard for PCs, Dell, HP, blah, 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 no problem. Go for it. We'll give you the specs and you can pick whatever the customer wants. We try to be really, really simple that way. We're a totally secure architecture, no cloud connections. So from a security standpoint and a firewall standpoint, we have well over 4,000 plus installations worldwide in many government and military operations, and so we pass that, and we have documentation to help illustrate to the customer, how secure we are and safe we are. We're very cost effective, generally speaking. We're very about 15% to 20% less than the guys in the gray, and I won't go over all of those, but I'll let you go over it because we'll send you this. And by the way, I apologize for I should have said this in the beginning. This is being recorded, so if you don't like to be recorded, or just don't say anything, or you'll have to exit the meeting. We're a fully functional based software application, and so we're very easy for the customer to use. It's drag and drop. It's scalable. It's there's no issue about the person trying to expand the system, add to the system, or break the system apart and make multiple systems. We can do that with you and with the customer, no problem. And we're made in the USA, and we have really fantastic 24/7 customer support. I'm not going to, as I said, go over this gray side, but there's probably the opposite of what I just spoke about for Hyperwall. So I think you probably get that. So how do we do all this? Well, we try and break it into really three easy steps. Okay. The first thing is, if you find a deal or a customer that says, "Hey, Harriet, I'd like to put in an SoC," and you don't have any idea what should be done, then just give us a call, and we'll work with the end user to build a BOM, and then we'll go over again with you and with the customer so that everyone's clear and understanding about the technologies that are applied, how the system works, what kind of demo or training they need, and then ultimately you agree, and then you can deliver it. Our partners in this business are some of the major name brands in the marketplace, and so you can see we're very safe. We're very partnership based, as the reason why you can see Chris here on the call with us. And the beauty about TD SYNNEX is that they have everything as a one-stop shopping solution. You can buy Hyperwall, you can buy the displays, you can buy PCs, and they can do great financing, and have all the accessories available for you. So with that partnership, Chris, why don't you say a few words and go from there?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I see several names that I'm not familiar with, so if I have not had the opportunity to introduce myself, my name is Chris Pierce. I'm the product manager here at TD SYNNEX for Hyperwall. So anything and everything Hyperwall comes through me at TD SYNNEX. The reason why our partnership with Hyperwall works so well is because we're a main distributor for Hyperwall and for the video wall software. The reason why our partnership works so well is because we have a huge play in several large verticals that Hyperwall also has a plan to attack, which is also public safety, law enforcement, government, transportation, and education. Like I said, all of these being some of the main verticals that SYNNEX attacks anyway. The only other vertical that is probably left out that I feel like, Steve, that we could have a huge impact on is also hospitality. So I don't see any reason why we can't attack that market and throw that in the mix as well. That's really it in a nutshell. If I can ever help you all in any way, I will include my email in the chat. Please reach out. It's really simple. Find the deal, bring it to us, we'll build it. And like Steve said, we'll get a quote over and get this thing wrapped up and put to bed. So thank you guys for joining, and let me know if I can ever help you.
Thank you, Chris. You're a great partner. We really appreciate it. As Chris was talking about some of the applications, let me talk to you about some of the additional applications that we work on. Our primary focus is command and control, and that's the things that end with an OC. Okay, and that's probably 85% of our business worldwide. But we also do advanced analytics, and so as an example, American Express, they use us throughout the world, probably about 5 or 6 different facilities worldwide, and they use us for their financial analytics, visual collaboration, a lot of education facilities, and also legal entities also use us, and then live audience presentations, auditoriums, et cetera, et cetera. We're also very large in that. And then, like JetBlue, they use us for enhanced digital signage, and in Vegas, they also use us in some of the entertainment areas. So we have really a broad application from a small 2x2 wall up to the largest wall we've just installed in Saudi Arabia, which was I think 1,600 square feet of DV LED panels by NEC, is all run off of a Hyperwall. So that was a heck of an installation. So those are some of the target applications. This is what the system looks like. I'm not going to go over each piece of it. If you'd like, just contact me and at your convenience, and be happy to go through it in more detail with you. But essentially, there's three areas: output, input, and control. The output is, what type of display do you want, and we can figure that out and help you with that. Input, the type of content that you want to drive, whether it's IP cameras, live video, web browsing, things like that. We can figure that for you. And then the system control, whether that's a 24/7 device with backup, or just a single use control device. And so there's a lot of different things, but this is kind of the general makeup of the system, all hardware agnostic. So if you like your own particular brand that's standardized by your customer's IT group, we can use that, no problem. So kind of a summary of this, because I promised I wouldn't keep you very long. There's really 4 steps, as Chris said, and I said. 1, find an opportunity. In all the various customers that you deal with, you don't have to go do any heavy learning. You don't have to do anything other than just ask if they want to put in any type of operation center, or have a need for any kind of visual collaboration with a lot of different content. Then contact us, and we'll work with you, work with the end user, and we'll help develop a quote, and then we'll give it to TD SYNNEX, and then TD SYNNEX will quote you your price, and then you place your order, and then deliver and install. And that's really it. We'll help do the install for you for the software if you'd like, or we'll teach you how to do it, and you can charge the customer and do it yourself. But we're very, very flexible, very, very open type of system. that we want to work with you and help make you money, make you higher margins, work a little bit less, make your customers happy, and have some annuity sales on an annual basis if that's what you choose. Here's our contact information. So if you like it, you can take a minute and write it down. If I'll just open it up. Does anyone have any question of any type, since we're kind of a small huddle webinar here together? Anybody?
Can you just talk for a minute? I know you talked about H.264 streams and streaming cameras, and I presume HTTP signals, but my world is a lot of broadcast technology. How do you get video, baseband video products or outputs into your environment?
So there's really a couple different ways to do it, and one is it may depend on the type of content that you have, whether you use some type of encoder or media device to bring it in. There's probably not. We haven't ever found any type of content that we can't either bring or stream into our system and use as a content source. I can send you what was your name?
This is Rick Trott.
Rick, okay. Rick, what we can do is get you some information, Rick, on that as well, and so that'll be a little bit more specific and detailed for you.
So Steve, I actually just added Steve Whitwer from our team to this call to actually, we can address that question in a little more depth. Question Steve Whitwer on this webinar was, how do we import or handle H.264 and H.265 streams in our system? How do we capture them?
So it's a stream, or is it like a pre-rendered video?
The question was really about dealing with a variety of baseband sources, baseband video sources.
So with stream, we don't support H.265 currently. With streams, we do either encoders or cameras that are using H.264. We have an application called IP Streams that will interface with that, and then basically it kind of becomes a media gateway. One PC will handle roughly 70-ish streams, and it basically allows that application will connect all the cameras, encoders, or whatever you're using, and then convert it into a format that we can use. If it's a pre-rendered video, it just gets literally just imported into the system and plays back locally off of each of the local PCs. We keep it in sync across displays, obviously, if you're doing that. But pre-rendered videos, there's no licensing required or anything for that. It just gets imported directly into the controller. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Steve. Any other questions by anybody?
So just to clarify, in the controller, there's an HDMI input. Is that correct? So if I wanted to do live video on a portion of the screen, I could do live video off of a set-back box or something like that?
Yes.
So you can use the controller as an HDMI input, but usually because we want the controller to kind of be a dedicated controller because it's the heart of the system, we usually have some other computer on the network that's got multiple HDMI inputs that allows you to stream directly from that.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
Perfect. Any other questions?
So on a input side, was this short presentation helpful for the people that attended?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay, well, listen, we'll send this recording out to you as well as a copy of the deck, and we appreciate your time and hope that you'll keep thinking of Hiperwall as you move forward, and keep thinking of TD SYNNEX.
Great, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
everybody.
day. Okay, bye.
Everyone, have a great day.
Thanks, Chris. Bye.